Hey everybody, Charlie O'Connor here from PHLY Sports, and I am reporting here from scenic Anaheim, California. That's right, wearing the sunglasses on what appears to be some sort of fake beach thing right outside of the Anaheim Ducks practice facility. And I was just at Flyers practice, so I wanted to give you some updates on what I saw and the news of the day on Thursday heading into the Flyers game against the Ducks on Friday night here in California. The big news of the day: Carter Hart practiced in San Jose before the game earlier this week. He practiced again today. And for the first time, we spoke with him, and Carter Hart is officially good to go. He told us after practice that he felt like he was ready, that it just depended on whether the coaches wanted him back in. And then we talked to John Tortorella a few minutes later, and John Tortorella said it was a no-brainer, that if Carter Hart is ready to go, that Carter Hart is his starter. So expect Carter Hart in net for Friday. Carter also went into some detail about his injury. He more or less confirmed that it is or was a lower back injury. He said that essentially when someone fell into him in that game where he suffered the injury, I believe it was Kyle Okposo against Buffalo. It took a little bit for it to tighten up, but it ultimately got to the point where really for a few days after the game, he could barely move. It sounds like it was some type of lower back injury, maybe a back spasm, something like that. And it was concerning for a while, but by the end of the weekend, he was feeling a lot better. Obviously got back into a practice this week on this trip, and now he's looking to rejoin the team in games tomorrow on Friday night against the Ducks. So big news there. Hart, while there was feared that he might be out for a lot longer, looks like he's only going to miss about a week. So probably the best case scenario for the Flyers. Other news: Morgan Frost, who did get scratched on Tuesday versus the San Jose Sharks, he is back in the lineup as well. Expect him to center Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny on line two. John Tortorella, after practice, he essentially said, "Look, he's actually liked what he's seen from Morgan Frost defensively. He feels like Frost has done a lot of work to improve his play away from the puck. He just needs more offense from him." And to John Tortorella's credit, he did apologize. He made a point to apologize for his one-word answer of no after Tuesday's game when he was asked, "Was it hard for you to scratch Morgan Frost?" Torres basically said after a loss, after that kind of loss, he just didn't want to answer the question, so he just blew it off more or less. And in reality, as Torts put it, whenever you sit a guy, he said it's hard. And he said with Frost, his viewpoint is that if he's going to play Morgan Frost, he wants him playing power play. He wants him in the top six. And to him, it was hard for him to pull out Ryan Poehling, who he felt like was playing well in his role. Now, I made it clear in my article earlier this week that I think it's frankly ridiculous to continue to scratch Morgan Frost. So far through 13 games, he's only played 6 of them. Just playing in less than half the games, it's not gonna cut it when this is a rebuilding year, and when this is a year when you're trying to figure out what you have in younger players like Morgan Frost. But good thing is that it looks like it's just a one-game absence. Granted, after you lose to the worst team in hockey earlier this week, there were going to be lineup changes, so the chances of Frost not getting in, pretty unlikely. But still, Frost is back in, and Ryan Poehling appears to be the odd man out. Looks like he's going to come out. So those were the two big stories. Morgan Frost back in the lineup, Carter Hart again healthy. But I did get a chance to speak briefly after practice with Cam York. Now, don't forget, Cam York 2 games ago was benched for the entire third period. He was back in the lineup in San Jose. I wasn't on that part of the trip, so I didn't get a chance to circle up with him and kind of see how that whole thing went. And York basically said he just wasn't playing his game, that he understood being benched in the third period 2 games ago. And he actually had the chance today during practice to have a long conversation with John Tortorella on the ice. And basically what Tortorella told him is all good things in terms of what I think people want from Cam York. He said York relayed essentially that Torts doesn't want Cam York to be worried about making mistakes. He wants Cam York to dictate the pace. He wants Cam York to stay on his toes. He wants Cam York to be aggressive. So we'll see if that's the kind of play that Cam York provides the Flyers. It's a big game for him on Friday. He's from Anaheim. This is his hometown game. He's going to play. It's not going to be a Travis Sanheim situation. Got that confirmed. But this is a game where York is going to be playing in front of his friends, in front of his family, in the arena where he watched the Ducks win a Stanley Cup back when he was a kid. So if there's a guy who needs kind of a breakout game, I think Cam York is one of them, and we'll see if he can pull it off in his hometown, in front of his parents, in front of his family. that's about it for today practice. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And check us out tomorrow on Friday afternoon. I believe it's going to be in the 4 p.m. hour. I will be again joining remotely to talk with Bill and JP in anticipation of Friday night's game in Anaheim, which I will be covering live in person. Thanks, everybody.